Hello, everyone. Welcome to Vartalap. Vartalap means conversation. Today's guest has multidimensional talent across different facets of business and corporate realm. Her proven experience encapsulates advertising, consulting, HR, shared service, strategic, and business operations. I'm going to welcome HR leader and a very successful group vice president of human resource, Shelly Tripathi. Welcome to our show. Very pleased to have you, Shelly.
Thank you, Sudhita. Very pleased to be there. Thank you for having me over.
So, without wasting time, I'll quickly start with the questionnaires. So,
Sure.
let's break the ice by hearing from you how HR evolved over the years. A common perception is HR engagement is primarily for resourcing. Could you also enlighten us on the other roles that HR plays?
So coming back to your question, HR has evolved. Yes, HR has evolved, and HR roles are no longer restricted to just recruitment or just operations, because operations has been basically it's all transaction work, which has been now tools are coming up, and there's a lot of automation that is happening. So a lot of HR is now become very focused, and it should be because it's no longer supposed expected to be a support function
Mhm.
as it was earlier days. I mean, I'm just talking about even as early as 3-4 years back, where it actually started to evolve, and things like HR outsourcing came in, things like RPOs came in, where people did not want to kind of do, they just wanted to outsource all this transactional work to organizations, and that is why shared services were set up. um, yes, HR has evolved. It is no longer just limited to being a support function. It is supposed to be now an equal contributor to the business, in terms of not as in the business people, but yeah, more so as in through the people, their domain knowledge, their expertise, getting the right fit, ensuring that the person is acclimatized into the culture and so on. So yes, it has a more larger role now.
That's great. Say 10 years back, HR was engaged if a problem surfaced, but today HR is very much part of strategic decision of every business. So what's your
So
perspective when it comes to strategy and business together?
Shudita, I would say like this, that HR um, has to become, does not have a choice. It has to be a strategic enabler. Okay? Now you see, I have been telling this almost 10 years, from 10 years back, since the time I was in PwC, even at that point in view, right from retention to employee engagement to to business operations, HR has to play a key role. Otherwise, there is no future for us in HR. Just being a support function really doesn't help. And also, also in terms of, mm, I would say that the top management has to define it always flows from the top, is what I
Mhm.
always believed in. So the key organization strategy, the key organization objectives is the job of the top management. That is after that it cascades down to the people, the middle management, who actually ensures that execution of those that vision happens. And that is when hiring seeps in, that is where business goals seep in. Now HR has a definite role to perform. It's just not about assessing, okay, somebody is doing a great job, how do you rate? Now there is this 360 degrees feedback which has come in. Performance management has become more objective, more goal based, more
Mhm.
KRAs, KPIs are now being captured. So it has become, it is no longer very subjective or very bias based. The aim is to move away from performance being very biased and very personal, to a more holistic, what should I say, a more holistic evaluation.
Mhm.
HR, if I were to break it down, right from even hiring, the hiring earlier was okay, you just take into hiring the right a candidate who has the experience. No, but now tools have come in, simulation, role play. You figure out, okay, you look at candidates who are more dependable, who there's an emotional quotient which has come in. Earlier, emotional quotient was not there. So
Mhm.
emotional quotient has come in to understand whether, because we are living in a VUCA world today, so which is very volatile, very ambiguous, very uncertain, very challenging. So this the focus now on resources to find out on employees is to find out who will be able, who is more agile, who is more who is able to function more in a function well in a highly challenging environment. Look at COVID times today. I mean, who would have thought of this?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, HR has definitely a more strategic role to play. Transactions are being taken over by tools that have come in, apps that have come in, data analysis centers are being set up. So you really don't have to. Yes, the aim of HR should now be they can be more productive by taking data from such databases and using it to their advantage.
Great. So, just an extension to what I already asked and what you defined, with new age business constantly evolving themselves, how HR managed to align their internal structure like agile new ways of working, digitization. So, could you just enlighten us on some tools that you guys yourselves are using?
See now with when when we talk about agility, okay, that is the workforce requirement these days, you know,
Mm-hmm.
being agile. Because and that I have been saying it for many years now, that one can only limit yourself to the number of lateral promotions that you can give. Now now employees also mean they're just not resources. Okay, they carry with you, they carry with them the organization secrets, the trade, they are very good at their work. Probably some of them are very good, very high potential candidates, even if, let's say, so you have to identify who are your candidates, who are people who are more dependable, whom can continue working for you, who are less unpredictable, and you have a good mix. So agility usually have with people who are very highly ambitious. You have to understand that if they don't get that specific job requirement, they might just move on. So right from that candidate who's highly skilled and highly talented but less dependable to people who are more dependable, you have to define your agility factor in such a way so that your business doesn't stop,
Mm-hmm.
and people need to be more agile. So cultural engagements have to be done now. With remote engagements have to be done with your employees. What happens is, in India, and I'm specifically saying this for India, the employees who are around you get the maximum leverage.
Yeah.
So I could be a boss and my employee could be working somewhere in Gujarat. I conveniently forget about that person. But we in HR need to be more agile enough to be able to connect with the employees in such a way so that we are able to cover, okay, fine, what is he exactly doing there? Okay, how many of us in HR would actually get to the bottom of our workforce data and figure out, okay, which employee is based out of where, what are the kind of cultural issues or technical issues they could be facing, and the agility. Right now, I'm just talking about agility from the HR standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
We HR professionals, we need to be more agile to enough to understand, okay, fine, it's anybody who's just showing me कि मैं office time पे आता हूँ, मैं office time पे जाता हूँ. I mean, that sort of thing doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
So my employee, let's say, it takes a lot of motivation for an employee to work out of in remote areas, knowing fully well that the boss is not seeing that he's coming on time, leaving on time, or the kind of challenges of the firefighting that he's doing every day. So that is from the employer point
Mm-hmm.
of view, that the HR people need to be more agile. The more employees also, yes, need to be more agile, because times are coming in such a way that you don't have yes, your job descriptions are there, but maybe in a job role you would need to, like how in consulting, right? You are supposed to be doing a particular work, but sometimes your nature of work becomes such that you are supposed to fill in a gap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because with the hiring numbers now being more constructive and more defined and more objective, you are people who have that extra advantage of filling in gaps will be more agile and hence will be more preferred.
Yeah.
People who keep themselves upskilled, people who keep have more than one skill sets, people who are getting deep dive into the business. For example, an HR person. Okay, if you see an HR person earlier, it was not. Today, it is not important limited to just the HR person just knowing the HR bit. He's supposed to know what's happening in the business. Who
Mm-hmm.
are my competitors? What are
Of
they doing that
course.
we are not doing? What are the policies that they have and we don't have? So
Great.
that's about agility.
Yeah. So, moving on to today's flexible working options, predominantly stressing on coronavirus lockdown, be it telecommunicating, work from home, flexi hours, or remote locations, how HR conceptualize getting the policies right, and of course, trusting people.
Yeah, that's a good question. So COVID has actually opened our eyes that micromanaging does not work.
Of course.
Okay. Some of us in India, at least I'm speaking because I haven't been outside the country. Yes, I've interacted with PwC people in the US. I have certain friends, and we share the HR policies, practices, and part of many now. So, but I have realized that we need, and this COVID is a big teacher. It has disrupted this world completely, whether it's
Mhm.
HR, whether it's business, whether it's education. Look at schooling, look at telemedicine, look at telecommunication. I mean, it has just percolated to every line of business. Okay. Now, flexibility. So first thing was that COVID has set a perspective that it is important to have flexible hours. Okay, now there
Mhm.
is no choice. We have been thrust into a position where we cannot get out of our homes. So the managers are keeping quiet. They don't have a choice because they are
Yeah,
safe. They need to be safe. Their families need to be safe, and the employees need to be safe.
true.
Correct.
Yeah.
So in that side, so they're in a situation. They have to work from home. The employees now flexible hours. So employee has the choice of
Mhm.
working in flexible hours. So there are people who are working the night shift. So they are generating their own requirements basis the nature of work. They have certain deliverables. They have kind of time their work in such a way. So this is what I meant by emotional quotient.
Mhm.
This is the employees. You're giving employee that power, or that decision making power, that okay, you work as per your deliverable. For us, the outcome of the deliverable is the only thing that matters.
Yep.
So flexible timings have come in. It is important. Yes, now is the time for actually also COVID, once it goes off, will expose the world to another set of business operations, that you need to not have the capex operating model very sound.
Yeah.
You do not need to have offices, plush offices in Gurgaon, or plush offices or seats, because they are very expensive. Okay, and that eats into your employee cost.
Mhm.
So the focus of the world today, now the business world, would now be to ensure that, obviously, once they would encourage people now to work from home, and they would save a lot of money, and in the meanwhile you will see more benefits coming up for the
So more
employees.
productivity, less cost.
Yeah, more productivity, less cost. But the 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 biggest what should I say, the catch in this is that your employees need to now have a good call out of what is. So for example, I'm working from home, I've injured myself, for example. Will
Mhm.
it be injury at work, or will it be injury at home? So we need
Yes.
things will be more objective now. Things, we will have to granulate every bit. Nothing will be very vague.
Yep.
So there would be flexible policies also. There would be your performance evaluation. Okay, will be less biased, I feel, because if you're working close to the boss, the boss obviously once has an affinity. Your managers would have. Now at least it will be more objective based, deliverable based. Your data points need to be stronger. Technology interfaces will be very flexible now. Earlier it was people could not plug in. There would be problems with HRIS, so there'll be a lot of manual work. Now there would be more integrated. So the technology would be more integrated now into our
Yes.
lives. So yeah, a lot of changes are coming up.
Yep. Definitely. So just going back to basics, what is your advice for the newcomers for a smooth transition to corporate life?
The newcomers today, I'm telling you, they are a very sorted lot. They
Yeah,
don't
very
want to
smart.
work for they don't want to work for long hours. They are very, very chiseled in their thoughts. Okay, that I am going to work from this time to this time. You give me flexible hours. It starts from home. Look at our children. They tell us, Mom, you want us to do this work, we'll do it. don't run after us or don't micromanage us. If you're going to micromanage your millennials or your, managing a diverse workforce, different age group, is going to be a challenge. And that's when you HR people need to really wake up and sit and think, what are they doing? It's not about, I remember previous companies, there was working as a business partner, and the first 1.5 hours of a time of a day is supposed to be the moment you enter office is a very productive period, 1.5 hours. She would waste to see office mein kaun kitne baje aaya hai aur kitne baje kitni chutti liya hai. We need to get out from that zone. And we have to generate a very high performance culture through integrated learning with technology. Your tools, your bang on integrate. If you have a KRA defined, okay, you need to, as an HR person, enable your employee to say, okay, fine, you have a particular skill set. Do you really need to develop on that skill set? And if you need to develop, are you equipped? If you don't, tell me what you need. And that is when I coordinate with my learning team to manage a learning calendar, not in terms of just my KPI or my KRA, but for the betterment of my workforce, to ensure that they gain the skill to deliver. So millennials need to have flexible work times. They need less of micromanagement. I think my advice to the millennials would be just be agile, just be versatile. Working is bliss. Okay. Learning new tricks of the trade. You are a very high energy lot. Just come in, but be open to learning and unlearning. Take the experience of people who've been in this business for some time, and then develop it, tweak it with your energy levels, and to gain. First few years would be just learning and doing things in a more versatile manner.
Yeah. Okay. On a lighter note, would you like to share one common myth that you heard about human resource?
Yeah, that human resource does not work. They don't understand the employees. It's a myth. I would say it's true also. It's true, but not every HR is like this.
Anyway, last few minutes, we will do cat out of the hat round, where answers will be in the form of single word. So shall we?
Sure.
Okay. All HR professionals do is hire and fire. Do you agree?
No, I don't.
So it's not true.
No, not
Great.
true. Yeah.
HR exists solely to protect the company. Truth or myth?
Truth.
Forced redundancies due to COVID-19. Is that true?
True.
Oh, it's very serious then. Remote working.
It is. People have been asked to take furloughs.
Yes. So, okay, moving on. Remote working stressful for employees. Is that true?
True. Very true.
Based on your experience, what's the biggest strength of HR?
People.
Great. Who or what is considered as the biggest asset for an organization?
People, technology, processes.
So I think you have already covered my next question, which was, which three qualities are highly rated during recruitment of an individual?
Yes, skills. I'm not talking about the skills. Obviously, if I don't have the experience, I wouldn't be recruited. But besides that, I think dependability. When you talk to the client, you understand whether the person is, and also the ambitious level. If I'm very ambitious, maybe you can depend on me as far as the work is concerned, but longevity may or may not. So dependability, the other integrity, which is very important. And the third is, I think, motivation, energy levels of an employee. Whether he's open to learning, all that.
What's your management style?
My management style, I like to take people with me and work, more cohesive, more, I do not like to micromanage at all. And I feel that I do not like to reprimand people. I believe in the coaching techniques have always worked for me. I have had a 46-member team. One person I had to just ask him to go because um, for behavior issues, but I've never had a problem with my people. And believe me, they were all remote employees.
Mm-hmm.
So only a handful were with me. The rest were all across India, but I have not had a churn. And even if I'm not working today, they're all on. We are in connect with every one of them, and I think that has worked because you understand that you have to take people along with you. You cannot have. It needs to be more democratic in nature. It needs to be more coach based. You come with me
Very true.
and let's
Yeah.
work together. Yeah,
Mhm.
collaborate. Yeah.
So that consolidates our session today. Thank you very much for your time. And on behalf
Thank
of
you.
Vartalab, I wish you the very best today and always.
Thank you, Shubha. Thank you very much. Bye.